Timeline anchors, how you're getting stuck without realizing it. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Time series. In today's video on quantum timelines, we've already established that timeline jumping is real. And not only that, it's natural. It happens to you every time you shift your identity, your focus, your cadence. You don't have to learn how to do it. You already do. What you have to learn is how to stop getting pulled back into the timeline you were trying to leave. That's what this section is about. Not jumping, but staying jumped. One of the biggest reasons people get excited about manifestation, spiritual alignment, or personal transformation, and then burnout, is because they're unaware of the anchors still holding them in place. These are the unseen structures of your current reality. They're not always negative. Some feel like comfort, some feel like home, but all of them serve one purpose: to keep your current identity intact. Anchors are what prevent your jump from stabilizing. They pull your frequency back into the familiar. If you've ever felt like you had a breakthrough, you saw a new version of yourself, felt inspired, made a big decision, and then within a few days or weeks, you were right back where you started. This is why. You tried to jump without detaching the cords. Timeline anchors are physical, emotional, relational, behavioral, and environmental feedback loops that constantly reinforce your current identity. That identity is the lock that keeps you tuned to your current timeline. You can dream of a different life all day long, but if you're still acting like the person who belongs to your old life, the timeline jump can't stabilize. It short circuits. And eventually, the system resets to what you've unconsciously chosen as normal. Let's go deeper into the 5 most powerful types of timeline anchors and how to remove them, one by one. 1. Environmental anchors. When your surroundings keep you small. Your environment is not neutral. The spaces you live and work in send constant signals to your subconscious mind. And your subconscious doesn't operate with logic. It operates with pattern recognition. If you wake up every day and see the same unmade bed, the same broken drawer, the same stack of mail you haven't opened, your nervous system reads it like a script. Same day, same self, same story. And it's not just clutter or aesthetics. The actual layout and design of your space can trap you in identity loops. If your desk faces a wall, if your windows are blocked, if your phone charger is next to your bed, these tiny structural choices become symbolic. They reflect your habits, your relationship to movement, your level of intentionality. And when those symbols stay the same, you stay the same. Let's say you're trying to jump into a timeline where you're a disciplined, organized, and high-performing version of yourself. But every night, you collapse into bed with your laptop open, junk food wrappers on the floor, and your phone flashing notifications. You've just surrounded yourself with evidence that contradicts the timeline you're trying to reach. And your brain, being a pattern-matching machine, concludes, this is who we still are. To disrupt this, you must initiate physical disloyalty to your old self. Move the furniture, change your lighting, throw away objects that belong to a version of you who procrastinated, self-sabotaged, or numbed out. Don't just clean, reprogram your environment to act as a mirror for your future. You cannot stabilize a new timeline in a space that only recognizes your past. 2. Emotional anchors, the addiction to familiar stress. Most people are emotionally anchored to their timeline without realizing it, not because they enjoy it, but because they're neurologically wired to repeat it. Here's what that means. If you've spent years living in fight or flight, chronic stress, people-pleasing, overthinking, anxiety, your nervous system has memorized that state as normal. It doesn't feel good, but it feels familiar. And the human body clings to familiarity because it equates it with safety. So even when you consciously want peace, clarity, or abundance, your body may reject it. Not because you're broken, but because calm doesn't match your emotional blueprint. You finally get a moment to relax, and your body gets suspicious. It starts looking for the next crisis. This is not self-sabotage. This is anchoring. Your emotional baseline is still set to your past. And until you feel safe feeling different, the jump won't hold. This is why emotional regulation is non-negotiable. You must teach your body, slowly, consistently, that it is safe to rise. That means practicing breathwork when things go right, not just when they go wrong. Normalizing joy and expansion without guilt or anxiety. Watching for the urge to create chaos when life gets too good. Because here's the truth. The timeline you want probably runs on a different nervous system setting. If your body can't handle the piece of that timeline, it will collapse it, and you'll call it self-sabotage. It's not. It's just your anchor snapping the cord back. 3. Identity echoes, relationships that reinforce the old. Nothing keeps you locked into a timeline like relationships built on outdated versions of you. Let me say that again. The people you surround yourself with are timekeepers. They track your consistency. They subconsciously enforce who you've been, not who you're becoming. And they do it in subtle ways. Nicknames, inside jokes, references to your past failures, comparisons, warnings, expectations. It doesn't matter how much you evolve internally. If you spend every day around people who only see the version of you that was insecure, chaotic, needy, or stuck, that mirror has weight. And if you don't actively challenge it, you'll eventually revert to match it. Now, this doesn't mean every person from your past has to go. But it does mean you need to audit the energetic contracts you're in. Ask, who assumes I'll always be available? Who brings out my lowest traits? Who acts uncomfortable when I grow? Who makes me feel I have to shrink back to keep the peace? These are not evil people. They're just anchors. And your nervous system needs permission to detach. That might look like space, boundaries, or even total exits, because you can't build a new life around people who are still emotionally invested in the one you're trying to leave. 4. Digital anchors, subconscious programming. Through your feed. If your physical environment and relationships reflect your outer world, your digital world reflects your inner programming. What you consume online trains your nervous system, whether you like it or not. Scrolling isn't passive, it's ritual. Every reel, post, tweet, and video is a microdose of identity conditioning. You are unconsciously learning how to think, how to feel, and what to expect from the world based on what shows up in your feed. If you spend 2 hours a day watching content from angry, bitter, broke, or drama-filled people, you are letting their timeline overwrite yours. If your algorithm feeds you failure stories, fear porn, or hypercritical breakdowns of what's wrong with the world, your subconscious assumes this is reality, and it will adjust your behavior to match. To jump timelines, you must curate your inputs with military precision. Ask yourself, does this content match the emotional tone of my future? Does this person expand me or shrink me? Do I feel energized, focused, and empowered after consuming this? Or agitated, reactive, and confused? If your digital space doesn't match your new timeline, you're not in the jump. You're just performing self-help in an old reality. The shift begins with silence, then with new input, then with sustained immersion in signals that tell your body, this is safe, this is real, this is where we live now. 5. Symbolic objects. When your belongings keep the past alive. This one hits hard because it's often the most overlooked. Your objects hold memory, and memory is frequency. That old sweatshirt you wore during your worst year, the journal full of trauma processing, the vision board that belongs to a version of you who no longer exists. These items are more than sentimental. They're anchors. Every time you see them, touch them, or store them, your subconscious replays the emotional blueprint attached to them. And that subtle replay reinforces your current timeline, whether it's working for you or not. Decluttering isn't just about minimalism. It's about narrative control. It's about removing relics of realities you've outgrown, so your environment stops feeding your past back to you. Let go of objects that belong to outdated identities. Release the visual scripts that say, this is who we've always been. Create space for new symbols, new codes, new identity markers that belong to the version of you who lives on the timeline you're choosing now. The jump can't hold until the anchors are cut. Timeline jumping is not just about deciding where you want to go. It's about removing what keeps you from getting there. The jump isn't a stretch forward. It's a release. You don't need more energy. You need less drag. Let go of the relationships, behaviors, environments, emotions, and inputs that are hardwired to the version of you who lived in the timeline you're leaving. That version is complete. You don't owe it loyalty. You owe it closure. Once the anchors are gone, the jump will stabilize. Not through effort, but through alignment. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11 times published author, and this is the Manifestation series, where we don't just talk about manifesting, we master it. Because let's be honest, manifestation has been watered down, reduced to vague quotes, mood boards, and empty promises. But you didn't come here to wish. You came here to build a reality that hits different. A reality that responds to your frequency, your language, your alignment, and your decision to stop playing small. This series is not fluff. It's physics, frequency, and fierce creative power. Inside the Manifestation series, you're going to learn how to collapse timelines, shift identities, and speak worlds into existence, just like the greatest minds in history. This isn't just about being positive. This is about being powerful. Here's what you unlock inside. Vision to Reality, the Vision Board course. You've heard about vision boards, but you've never done them like this. This is a full energetic ritual, a precision-coded map for your subconscious, designed to bridge image, frequency, and strategy. It's not arts and crafts. It's blueprinting your future in visual form and turning it into matter. Time, quantum timelines, and why time isn't real. Manifestation doesn't take time. It takes alignment. In this module, I'll show you how time is just a mirror of energy and how to collapse timelines using choice, clarity, and vibration. Past, present, future, they're happening now. And when you know how to navigate time quantum style, you stop waiting and start receiving. Quantum jumping, instantly up level. Your next level life isn't years away. It's one decision away. In this training, you'll learn how to quantum jump, how to shift into a version of you that already has what you desire. This isn't fantasy. It's how high-performance creators, athletes, and spiritual masters leap beyond limits. Jump now. Land in power. Every word. The power of affirmations and spoken language. Words build worlds. In this course, I show you how to use affirmations like spell work, not just repeating empty mantras, but speaking with vibration, intention, and spiritual force. If you've ever felt like affirmations don't work, this will change everything. You'll learn to command your field, not just request from it. The greats, learning from the most exceptional minds in history. We're not the first to master this. In this legendary module, we decode the techniques, habits, and quantum genius of the world's most powerful manifestors, from ancient sages to modern icons. You'll learn how to think like the greats, move like the greats, and manifest like the greats. This isn't another feel-good series. This is a spiritual weapon, disguised as a manifestation course. It's made for leaders, cycle breakers, visionaries, and soul builders. You don't need another wish list. You need a system that teaches you how to bend reality. This is that system. So if you're ready to stop playing with potential and start creating results, welcome to your next level. The Manifestation series is open now. You know what to do. Let's build what they said was impossible and make it inevitable.